This stone cost 3 months of a man's salary. Geologically, it is almost worthless. There is no shortage of diamonds. There never was. They are not rare, they are not a good investment, and you can barely resell one. So how did a single company convince the entire planet that a common rock is the ultimate symbol of eternal love, and get you to pay a fortune for it? This is not a story about a gem. This is a story about the most powerful business decision of the 20th century. Think about what you believe about diamonds. That they're rare, that they hold their value, that a bigger one means a deeper love. Almost none of it is an accident. Every one of those beliefs was engineered, deliberately, patiently, over decades, by people you will never meet. To understand how, we have to go back to a moment when diamonds nearly became worthless. Because before they were a symbol of forever, they were just stones in the ground. For most of history, diamonds truly were rare. A handful came from riverbeds in India. Later, Brazil. Kings wore them. Almost no one else ever saw one. Scarcity was real, and scarcity was the entire value. Then, in 1871, everything broke. In South Africa, near a hill called Kolersberg Kopje, prospectors hit something that would quietly rewrite the global economy. Not a vein of diamonds, a mountain of them. Suddenly, diamonds weren't trickling out of the earth by the handful, they were coming out by the ton. And here is the iron law of any market. When supply explodes, price collapses. The men who had sunk their fortunes into these mines realized the truth fast. If everyone kept digging and selling freely, diamonds would become as cheap as the gravel around them. The thing that made a diamond valuable, its rarity, was disappearing in front of them. One man understood the danger better than anyone. His name was Cecil Rhodes. Rhodes didn't just want a mine, he wanted all of them, because he understood a secret that would define the next 100 years. If diamonds could not be rare in the ground, they would have to be made rare on paper. In 1888, Rhodes merged the major mines into a single company. He called it De Beers. And with that, one company began to control how many diamonds the world was allowed to see. Controlling supply solved half the problem. De Beers could now keep diamonds artificially scarce by locking most of them away in vaults and releasing only a trickle. But scarcity is useless without desire. You can control every diamond on earth and still go bankrupt if no one wants to buy one. And by the 1930s, that is exactly what was happening. Diamond prices were sliding. The Great Depression had crushed demand. In parts of the world, the engagement diamond was barely a tradition at all. De Beers was sitting on a mountain of stones the public had no strong reason to want. So in 1938, the company made the decision that changed everything. They did not hire a better miner. They did not cut prices. They travelled to New York and hired an advertising agency, N.W. Ayer, and they asked a question no jeweller had ever seriously asked, not how do we sell more diamonds, but how do we make people feel they cannot get married without one? The answer would become the most successful piece of persuasion in commercial history. The plan was simple and audacious. Stop selling a stone, start selling an emotion. Diamonds would no longer be marketed as jewellery. They would be marketed as love itself, made solid, permanent and impossible to argue with. For years the campaign built quietly. Diamonds appeared in Hollywood films, on the hands of movie stars, in stories about romance and proposals. The message was never buy a diamond. The message was this is what love looks like. And then, in 1947, a young copywriter at the agency named Frances Geraghty, working late one night, wrote 4 words at the bottom of a page: "A diamond is forever." She reportedly almost didn't submit it. It would go on to be named the slogan of the century. Those 4 words did something extraordinary. They did 2 jobs at once. Forever told you a diamond was the perfect symbol of eternal, unbreakable love. But forever did something quieter and far more profitable. If a diamond is forever, you never sell it. And if no one ever resells their diamond, then the market is never flooded with cheap second-hand stones that would expose how little they're really worth. In one phrase, De Beers had married the diamond to marriage, and quietly killed the resale market that could destroy it. Then they answered the last question for you. How much should a ring cost? There was no rule in nature. So they invented one, a month's salary, then two, a number pulled from thin air, repeated until it felt like tradition. If you still think desire like this can't simply be manufactured, look at Japan. In the 1960s, the diamond engagement ring was essentially not part of Japanese marriage culture. It was foreign, unwanted. Then De Beers ran the same play. The films, the images, the idea that a diamond was what a modern, loving proposal required. Within a couple of decades, a huge share of Japanese brides expected exactly that. A tradition that felt ancient was, in truth, only a few years old, and it had a marketing budget. That is the real genius and the real unease of this story. De Beers didn't discover that people love diamonds. They decided that people would, and then made it true. The rock in the ring on millions of hands didn't earn its meaning over centuries. It was assigned that meaning, in boardrooms on purpose. So where does that leave the diamond on someone's finger? It's still beautiful. It can still mean something real, because meaning, once believed by enough people, becomes real. But it's worth remembering how that meaning got there. The most valuable thing De Beers ever created was never the diamond. It was the story around it, and that is the lesson hiding inside this glittering little stone. The biggest companies in the world are rarely built on a better product. They're built on a better story. One decision, one idea, repeated until we mistake it for the truth. The next time you see a diamond, you'll know what you're really looking at. Not a rare stone, a brilliant decision. If this changed how you see something you thought you understood, that's exactly what this channel is for.